guys. So, just wanting to get started with you on a new lesson. And I did figure out how to work part of the Screencastify in this new system. So, how can I find equivalent ratios quickly and efficiently? Okay. One of the tools that we're going to use, and we're going to look at it in just a second. And there's some really good examples in your textbook. So please do the looking and the reading today. Remember, we are using volume 2 of the textbooks. Um, if a ratio appears in the same factor column of a multiplication chart, you can use adjacent columns to look for equivalent. Okay. And we will look at that. I'll show you kind of what that means. That is one tool. Okay. Tools are choices. The other tool that we're going to use is simplify the original ratio, just like simplifying a fraction, and then work to find equivalence. Okay. I will tell you, I like the second tool better. I just do. Um, but this other one is a nice way, not only of working with ratios, but also of noticing the differences and the similarities in numbers. Okay. Now, big idea, write this in. Big idea. All equivalent ratios simplify to the same basic ratio. If I say that something is equal to 2/3 and something else is equal to 2/3, then they also have to be equal to each other. And I will show you some examples. Okay. So 3/5, okay, if I multiplied by 3, would also equal 9/15. Okay. 21/35, if I simplify it, dividing by 3 also equal, or I'm sorry, dividing by 7 also equals 3/5. So these are all equivalent ratios. That's all an equivalent ratio is. Okay. Now, I'm going to show you the work with the multiplication chart. Okay. And then we'll do some others where we're kind of filling in a blank. Now, we're going to go with that idea that I said earlier of 2/3. So this multiplication chart was in your notes. If I started with the ratio 2 to 3, 2/3, well, 4 to 6 is also the same ratio. 16 to 24 is also the same ratio. Okay. What if I said 12/16 or 12 to 16 was the ratio? Well, that's also a ratio of 3 to 4. And that's also a ratio of 24 to 32. So if you notice by following along in these multiples, okay, if you continue to multiply the ratio by the same thing, you're going to get a similar ratio. So if I said that the ratio was 20 to 24, well, that'd be the same ratio as 80 to 96. And if I simplified those, it'd be a ratio of 10 to 12, which we know we can simplify again. And it would actually also be all the ones that are 5 to 6. Okay. So it's understanding that these multiples of numbers, viewing them basically as a fraction, make equivalent ratios. And we can go over that part live in class as well if you have questions. Now, my favorite best tool for all time and eternity for ratios is simplify the ratio and then work to find equivalence. Okay. So here's an example. 24/60 is a ratio. And they want to know, well, if 24 to 60 is the ratio, okay, what if I only had 10 of the first thing? What goes here? Well, my first step would be to simplify this. 24/60ths, if I divide both the numerator and the denominator by 12, is equal to 2/5. And if I said, well, what's 2/5 equal to? Well, 2 times what would make 10? Times 5. So if I do times 5 to the denominator as well, that's going to tell me that that's a 10 to 25 ratio. Okay. And to check, you can check and say, well, 24/60ths equals 2/5, and 10/25ths equals 2/5. So they are equivalent. Okay. And that is my favorite way to do it for several reasons. One, we already know how to simplify fractions, and it's an important skill to keep up. Two, all you need is your brain and a pencil. Okay. You don't need a multiplication chart, you don't need anything crazy. Just your brain and a pencil will get this done for you. And those are always my favorite ones to use. I look forward to seeing you in class. Okay, I cannot wait to do some more of this practice with you.